Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Q's Views. And as today, we're going to go ahead and continue our monster book series. Last time we did Monster Manual, the very first one for AD&D. Today, we're going to take a look at AD&D Monster Manual 2. So here we have it. Now, I did kind of gloss over this book in a previous video because I was showing it off as well as its miniature counterpart. When I check that video, I will have a card link to that so you can check that out. I'd greatly appreciate it. But today we're going to do more of a kind of like a page by page. I'm not going to go through every page, but just kind of a glimpse of what all is in this book. So here we go. There's the front of the book. Here's the back of the book. And now we'll go ahead and crack it open. So here we are, Monster Manual 2, TSR, Gary Gygax, an alphabetical listing of monsters found in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons adventures, including attacks, damage, special abilities, descriptions, and random encounter tables. All right, here we go. Table of contents. Pretty straightforward and one of the smallest table of contents I've seen in a book like this. Preface, acknowledgments, how to use this book. I'm not going to spend too much time on this stuff. This is basically if you want to custom make your monsters or what the scores mean for different stats like intelligence, chance to know spells, pickpocketing, moving silent, so a lot of what would be considered thieves, abilities, and that kind of thing. All right, a lot of stuff based off dexterity check. All right, here we go. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the monsters. We've got the Aboleth. Again, I'm not going to go through every monster, but just kind of some of the ones that I used on a fairly frequent basis in monsters that are kind of known, at least in my experience, as the classics. All right. The Atomi, I know that's been used quite a bit. The Rumvarax. The Baku, the Banderlog, the Greater Basilisk. Basilisks have always been a part of D&Ds for as long as I can remember. Bats, bears. Here you kind of have your like run-of-the-mill, kind of everyday run-into monsters and creature types, just in slightly larger forms, of course. Something like Case of the Bear or the Giant Bee. Behemoth, which basically looks like a prehistoric version of a hippopotamus. Bodax are fairly, I've ran into a few of them. Same with the Bolisks. I've had a few campaigns with the Boggles. Cats. Catfish. Cave crickets, the Cat Lord. For some reason, this always sticks out in my mind. I think it's because it was done in a slightly different art style than the rest of the pictures. A lot of these are done with like line type drawings, but like this particular drawing, you can tell it has some stippling, which kind of stands out for me. Cave Fisher, Cloaker. Of course, you have the huge and megalo centipedes. I think that's kind of their meaning, like the megalodon version of like the centipede, like a megalodon shark, kind of emphasizing its large size. Chrismal, something I've seen used in campaigns before. All right, now we can move into the demon world. Charon, Boatman of the Lower Plains. For those who are into the lore. And then here you have some of your demons that are named after various diseases, like Anthraxis right here. Death Crimson, the Demolich, Faratsu. They're various Demodans, which can be very, very deadly to a party, even if they are prepared. Demon Lords, you have your minor lords like your Babao and your Baphomet, um, Bar Algura, the Cambions, which are still frequently used in modern campaigns. Dretch, all these demon lords, the Prince of Deception. We have the Demon Prince Gratz, which is still used to this very day. Nabasu, the Rudderkin, Darrow, still frequently used. Same with your various divas. Abishai, which is a demon or the devils I like to use. Now this is a pre-owned copy of the book, and somebody wrote in it before, so kind of unfortunate because I wouldn't have done that, but what do you do? All right, we got our lesser devils, our archdevils, and our dukes and princess of hell. We've got Glacia here, Mammon. Now I know a lot of the higher positions held by demons and devils have changed in a lot of ways since these books, since the first edition AD&D game, such as the places of Moloch. I know devils like Mephistopheles are still in place. All your various devils. Of course, now we're moving into the dinosaur world. Dracolisk, or of your prehistoric sized birds, which are always interesting to use, these kind of creatures, especially if you have like a prehistoric surrealistic type setting that your players are going through. The Cloud Dragon, which is always was a cool idea in my opinion. Mist Dragon, the Shadow Dragon, and then of course the Giant Dragonfly, the Dragon Horse, which I always kind of use one as a mount, but I never ever did. Driders, any of us that know about the Driders, we know that these are basically an incarnation, not incarnation, but it says, right, I'll just read it. The Drider is a special creation of Lolth's magic. When a drow promising ability reach 6th level or slightly higher, Lolth will summon them and put them through a special devised test. The drow that fail become Driders. So basically that's the punishment you get for failing Lolth's tests. So you either excel and become more, or you fail and become a Drider. For some, either way, it's a lose. Different elves. Fireflies, falcons, food creatures. Never really use those too much, to be honest. If you have, let me know. The Froghemoth, kind of an interesting looking mishmash kind of character. Your different giants, your Furbolg, the Furbeeg. I think these are all just like it says a giantkin. Furbolg is the most powerful. Cautious, crafty, and considerable magic power. I know some of these are basically just offshoots of your various giant types. Gibbering Mouther, the Green Hag, Gimera. I know Griggs and Gripplies have been used from time to time in various campaigns. The Vardigs. You know, sometimes I wonder where they get creature ideas from. The Hollyphant. And here you have your various tables where you can kind of like custom create your Hordling. Your Hordling can have various attributes and various physical characteristics that can make them all different. And you can kind of custom create how they are right here. I think that's pretty cool. Hipsel. I know it take a lot of pages to do it. I think it'd be cool if you had something like that for most of your major characters or major monsters. Or the Kraken. Kraken, of course, that's as classic a creature as you can get. Sea Wolf. Some reason every time I take a look at these, I see Sea Wolf Greater and Sea Wolf Lesser. It reminds me of the TV show Airwolf. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember that, but basically a pretty cool show revolving around a helicopter that was high tech for its time. Couch kept criminals and all that kind of thing. All right, giant mantis. Where is shark? I always thought that'd be crazy to be able to turn into a shark, to be able to shape shift. All right, and here we have some of my favorite creatures in the whole game, which are the Modrones. It says we have your various ranks: the decaton, the nonaton, the octon, the septon, the sexton, the quinton, the quarton, the teraton, and the secundi, and of course Primus, which of course always reminded me of the band. Of course, I'm pretty sure these creatures are older than the band is, so I always like this one because it has it's the same name as me. My actual name is Quentin, except with an I instead of an O right here. So I always thought that was kind of cool. And then we have the Primus, the one in the prime. Mudman, that's a fun one to use. Myconid, which is your fungus people. Narwhals. Oliphant. Yeah, just a whole slew of crazy creatures. Here we got some of our elemental creatures. Ice, smoke, magma, kind of like our tween elementals. And we have the planetars. Of course, some of us are very familiar with their even more deadly counterparts, the solars, the quicklings, which have a movement rating of 96. That's pretty quick. Rats, scorpions. So even though there's some pretty crazy unique monsters, there's a lot of, your kind of typical creatures that you would run into even here, like just wandering around. Of course, not in as big a size with the giants and the megalo versions. Here we are with the solar. I was just mentioning that. Spectator, which I believe is one of a beholder kin. The stench cow. I always thought that was funny. You have the cow with the K. It's not even a real cow. Of course, here we see the entry of the Tarask. So that's pretty cool. It's the first time we actually see it, I believe. I believe this is the first monster book to include the Tarask. Those of you who know what a Tarask is, you know you don't really want to run into one of those. Or I should say the one of those, because there is only one, according to the lore. And those of you who've encountered one most likely didn't survive. Alright. Dussel Hydras, I like using those. Thunder Beasts. Triflower Frond. Those are quite deadly, actually. Careful of those. Alright. Land Urchins. The Vega Pygmy. Or the Vega Pygmy. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I thought that was funny. The Wolfware. I think the werewolf and the wolfware is kind of the same difference as, say, like your lycanthrope versus your lupine. Someone can correct me on that if you have more information. Tunnel worms, the Zarin, Yethhounds, all monsters that I have used in campaigns. Yuan-Ti, zombie monsters, the Zygon. And of course we have our various random encounter tables, outdoor random encounter tables. Pretty cool stuff. Aquatic random encounter tables, astral dungeon monsters by level and frequency at that level. So that's pretty cool. Creating your own random encounter tables. If you don't like the ones that's presented, you can make your own. Of course, a lot of us do that already anyways. So all in all, a pretty cool addition to this book series. And this is Q saying thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments section if you have this book and what you think of it. And if you're enjoying this series so far. We've got many more books to go. We're just getting started and I'm looking forward to continuing it. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video. Take care everyone. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.